All right, 276, now that we have an account in Online GDB, and now that we have Firefox set up in a way that will help us manage the advertising content in Online GDB, it's time to talk about how it is that we actually do the project work in Online GDB. So first and foremost, you can see here along the left-hand side, I am already signed in as me. When you sign in with your accounts, you'll be signed in with you. I know that that is obvious. First and foremost, let's go ahead and click on my projects. You will see that this is pretty gross and gnarly. There are just all of these junk files in here. They're not junk, they're actually other student projects. It's just that they're not particularly well managed. What we want to do is as follows. Every time you start a new chapter project, so for this particular class, there will be chapter projects in 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. What we want to do is create a new folder. And what I will do is call this chapter 3 demo. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to create a folder and we are going to put our projects in there. So if this was working along with chapter 3 or chapter 2 or whatever it happens to be, you would open your demo folder or whatever you manage to call that. And in here, what I want to do is start a new project. A new project will look like we see here behind me. First and foremost, what we want to do is select a language. C++, the second from the top, is the one we will be using, and that will be just fine. Next, all of our projects will always include using namespace std. That is, my microphone is right in the way of the keyboard. Using namespace std will ensure that we do not and will not have to use this std : stuff. So always remember to add the using namespace std here, just like we talk about in one of the other videos, and there you go. The next thing my suggestion is to you is right here next to the gear icon under the main window. I suggest hitting the vertical position here. This way you can see your code in the left-hand portion of the window, and when I hit run, you can see the output over here in the right-hand side of the window. So I know that depending on where it is you are picking this video up, you may or may not have had a ton of involvement with Revel and doing some of your first coding experiments. That's okay. It's going to look exactly the way that you see it here. It's just going to be in the Revel platform instead. This is just how to manage this. There are more than plenty enough videos in the chapter supplemental material in Eagle to get through many of your first coding assignments. So now that we've started a project here in Online GDB, we have created a folder here in Online GDB to put all of our work. What we want to do is save our work here. It's something that I know many of you will have had no previous experience with, having to save files while you're going through. This is a difference between all of the processing that is happening in the background while you're using Google Docs or Microsoft Office 365. Online GDB is like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to have to do all that. I ain't saving this until you tell me to save this. So that's what we're going to do. Right here, the blue file, or next to, my apologies, blue here, save, is going to allow us to save our project. So destination folder, you'll see I'm already here inside of my chapter 3 demo, and I'm just going to call this first project, just like so. We'll use camel case, so everything starts with a lowercase and then the first letter of each subsequent word gets an uppercase, and there you go. And I'm just going to go ahead and save that. Now my work, this is in the chapter 3 demo folder. It is called, I've forgotten already what I called it. I believe I called it first project, and it is ready to be shared. However, when you want to send me your work as a project, so if you are going to submit a project or if you are going to ask me a question about your projects, the easiest way to do it is by sending me some code. The way we would do that is as follows. We would hit the share button right here, the orange button roughly in the middle there. and just go ahead and grab the share code. So Command C, I'm on a Mac, it's Control C if you are on a Windows PC or a Chromebook. And once we have done that with that share code, we can drop the copied URL into a Microsoft Word document, for instance. And then you can upload that document into Eagle for submission. Or if you are messaging me about a question, you can share that code with me and I will go through and fork it and be able to make the changes. While I have here mentioned forking, I will mention, because it's in a video, and that means it is here for posterity. When you come through and click on a piece of code that belongs to me or to somebody else that you are working together with, you will see a fork button over here on the left-hand side. What forking will do is share a copy of that code into the root of your folder, so it will save it with your account. So that way, any of the changes that are made are non-destructive. They don't go back and change what the original code was. So that way everybody gets to participate in the code between you and me in a way that makes the most sense. I don't have to fork my own code because I own it. And it would be the same with you. You won't see fork up there until you click through on a piece of code that I generated that you will see in Eagle, for example. So that is starting a folder, starting a new project, and sharing a URL to the project here in Online GDB. Trust me, trust me, trust me. After this little bit of setup here in the beginning, it really does make life so much easier for all the parties involved when all we have to do is click share and distribute those works that you do. But please, please, please do not forget to save. This is not like Google Docs. This is not like Office 365. If you do not save your work will not be saved. It can be a problem.